Hello, friends. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the October 2020 energy forecast for life path number 11-2. This is master number 11-2. And so 11s, I would suggest going ahead and listening to the forecast for the 2s as well, because that is your life path number. The 11 energy is just an extension of that. And so before we get into the actual reading for October, I want to mention that October is a 5 universal month. And what that means is that collectively we could see influences of that 5 energy. What that entails is a lot of change and transformation. And so that change can often be frequent. It can be unexpected. And it can be, it can feel a little catastrophic at times. It can feel a little overwhelming at times because it's change. And as humans, we don't necessarily always love change. And so you may see that energy come in quite a bit this month, as we all may. The best way to sort of harness that energy or to work with that energy, the best that you can, is to go with the flow, is to surrender to where the universe wants to take you, where your higher self wants to take you. Because if change is happening, it's happening for a reason. So the more that we can sort of, again, surrender to that and just, the things that we can't control, release, trying to control, then we'll move through that a little bit more comfortably. And so just be aware of that this month. Another aspect of 5 energy is the need or desire for adventure, travel, expansion. And so if you can't physically travel at this time because of your circumstances, then by all means, find a way to satiate that desire through, virtual, through enhancing, or opening your mind, or, expanding your mind through taking an online course, or reading a really good book, or learning a new language, whatever you need to do. But there's definitely a call for that, or the energy is prominent this month for that. So find a way to please your inner child in that way the best that you can. One thing to be aware of is with this 5 energy is to find your balance, to do things in moderation. That's really important because with 5 energy, there can be this tendency to move in excess, or to, spread yourself too thin, or, overspend, or, whatever the case may be, or to live in some kind of extreme. So whether that's physical with addictions or deprivation or whatever the case may be, or if that's emotional. So allowing your emotions to control you over being in control of your emotions, or being out of touch with your emotions. And so if you fall in any of those extremes, then 5 is going to be this energy, this October is going to be this 5 energy of sort of reining that back in, or giving you the opportunity to do so. And so to find that balance. So however works for you and however you can do that is what's advised. Okay, so getting into the actual reading for October, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 4 weeks. The energy is fluid. So of course in October, I do believe has more than 4 weeks, but I'm going to break it down into 4, and however it comes in for you is what you can work with. So take what resonates and, of course, leave what does not. So the first week of October, we have this energy of patience being key. And so 11, there may be some times where you want to jump the gun, you want to rush something, you want to see the instant gratification. And that instant gratification just isn't coming. And the reason for that is because you're being asked to practice your patience, okay? To understand that you've done your part, right? You've done your work that you need to do on whatever this is. And now it's up to the universe or the other party to do theirs. And so you have to give them the space to do that and to trust them to do their part. So again, whether that's another person, another party, the universe, whatever, God, your higher consciousness, whatever. there's this sense of releasing that, trying to control the entire situation and allowing that other person or entity to do their magic, right? Do their part of the job. And to understand that if you can do that, if you can release that control, then the rewards will be great. So it's all about that patience. And again, trusting others to do their part, okay? Then as we move into the second week of October, we have this call, 11s, to really go within, to find your solitude. There's going to be a call this week to find the stillness, to drown out the external noise and really reconnect with self. And so however you can do that, but it's really that, again, just drowning out the chaos that's happening on the external. Resist the urge to ask others what you should do this week, but go within and follow your inner compass, okay? You have the answers within, you just have to trust those answers. And so again, this week you're really being called to find as much solitude as you can and really embrace that space. So follow your North Star, right, as much as you can, and that being your soul, your inner compass. The more that you try to search externally, the more frustrated you're going to become. And so again, you'll know when you're doing that because you'll feel that frustration or that lack of fulfillment. And so again, go within as much as you can this week. Find the solitude, find the stillness. Take some time alone. I always say if you can go out into nature and just sit in nature, or if you can do a yoga or meditation or whatever, whatever calls to you, journal. If you can do that, but do it alone, because even if you're sitting with somebody, even if you're not speaking with the other person, but you're in their space, you're susceptible to their energy. And so that's why it's so important. And I think this week is going to be really important for this, to take as much alone time as you can and really just sit with yourself, okay? And reconnect to your higher self and just see what comes in for you, because the answers are going to be coming from that space, not from the external. So that's really, really important. And if you've been feeling like you have been disconnected from yourself or from your higher consciousness or whatever, then this is a really good opportunity and a really good week to come back and get reconnected. So yeah, however you need to do that, but as much sort of solitude and space that you can create for yourself this week, the better you're going to feel, okay? And then we move into the third week of October, and we have this feeling of having your defenses up, okay? And I'd say this in the most lovingly way, but 11s, a lot of your work in this lifetime is overcoming the lower self, overcoming the ego. And I'm not saying, I'm not one of those people who believes in killing the ego, because I feel like we came into this lifetime to experience the ego. And so it's more about finding the balance between the soul and the ego. But for 11s, such a big part of your journey is really overcoming that lower self and reconnecting to your higher self and finding that balance. And so I feel like there are times where you have a difficult time controlling your emotions, whether that's anger or frustration or whatever. And sometimes that can get the best of you. And so this week particularly, there may be people that it feels like you're being attacked, or it feels like nobody understands you. You feel isolated. You feel like you're just constantly on the defensive. You feel like, nobody listens to what you have to say, all of that kind of energy. And so it's really a matter of what you do with it. How are you going to respond? That's the key. Are you going to react and put up a fight, or are you going to respond in a way that benefits all? Because with 2 being your actual life path number, you are the peacekeeper. You are the mediator. You are the one that doesn't, when you're in alignment, you don't need to be right? You don't need to have all the answers. You're the one that brings the people together, not the one who's divisive. And so this week, if you find yourself being really defensive and really argumentative, or, whatever comes in for you, that's the indicator for you to take a step back and see, why am I reacting this way? Why is whatever this is triggering me in this way? Of course, there's times when we need to stand up for ourselves. Of course, right? We need to stand in our power. But we don't always have to be right. We can always choose kindness over the need to be, to please the ego and be right. As long as no one's being harmed, physically or emotionally, whatever. But sometimes emotional harm, we do that to ourselves at times. So this week is really this call to take a step back when somebody says something or does something that gets your defenses up. Instead of reacting, just excuse yourself from the conversation, take a time out, and then explore ways that you can respond that will sort of bring the situation to a more enlightened viewpoint, okay? So whether that's compromising and seeing eye to eye, or just, you don't want to break relationships that don't need to be broken just for the need to be right. And I'm not saying that all 11s do that. I'm just saying, that's something humans do, right? But I'm saying that for 11s, you really do, a big part of your journey is to break through that lower self-ego and into that higher consciousness in this lifetime, and to be, the inspirational leader and the peacekeeper and all that higher level, higher vibrational energy. And that's not easy work to do. But this week you could feel like you're being challenged by others, like, again, like you're sort of isolated or on the defensive or nobody understands you. And this is really a call to go within, as much as you probably don't want to hear that. It really has nothing to do with the other person or the other people. It really has to do with, can you go within at this time and see what that trigger point is triggering? Why is it being triggered? And what can you do to heal whatever that triggering is, okay? So some work to do there. And then on the 4th week of October, you guys are getting sort of this tower energy, this I hate to use the word catastrophic because that's so dramatic, but sort of this major turning point, this major change or shift. And so a lot of times when we see this energy, it's about we've had opportunities to make an adjustment or make a change, but we have chosen, usually through ego, to stay safe or to say what we think is safe or secure or in a circumstance. And so we refuse to break free from that confinement. And what happens is at that time, our soul or the universe will step in and expedite the timeline. And so, if we're not making the adjustments that we need to make because we have contracts in this lifetime that need to be met, and if we are staying stagnant in a certain area for too long, then we're missing those contracts that our soul created, right? And so our soul is going to do everything in its power to continue to move us forward, conspiring with the universe to make that happen. And so if we stay stagnant, then we start to see those tower moments come in. And so for those of you who this is resonating for, what this tower moment is probably going to be. And it's just a matter of it's not punitive. It's just a matter of the universe being like, okay, I'm going to lift you up now and move you forward to where you need to be so that you can meet this other contract, this other experience that you're meant to have, but that you'd miss if you were continuing along the path the way you were continuing on it. And so you may see some kind of major upheaval, major transformation, major change come in around this 4th week of October. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to worry about. It's just simply a change in the timeline, okay? A change in the circumstance. Again, your soul came here for certain experiences, and when you're missing those experiences, or it looks like you're going to miss those experiences because of your free will, then your soul will step in and help to sort of escalate you or, move you forward at an accelerated rate. So some of you 11s, you may see that come in towards the end of the month. Remember that it's for your highest good. Wherever this is taking you, it's for your highest good, for your highest expression. And so sometimes we just need a little help along the way, and this is what this is. And so however that comes in for you, I'm not surprised to see that energy come in because of the 5 universal energy. And so I think even on a global scale, we're probably going to see this kind of tower energy coming in for the collective, because there are things that need to change that we're choosing not to change, and just it's messing with the timeline. So So you may see that coming in for you around the end of the month. Around that, I think it's a Taurus full moon on the 31st. So I'm thinking it's going to be sometime around that time. And if it doesn't happen at that time, then you're going to have some kind of indication of what it is that needs to change and that is in the process of getting changed pretty abruptly. So just be mindful of that. Again, it's nothing to fear. It's just simply the universe stepping into being like, okay, we need you at point Z and you're at point A. And so we need to move you pretty quickly. And sometimes for us little humans, that can feel really catastrophic or abrupt. But usually when we come out on the other side, we're like, okay, I understand why that happened. And thank goodness that happened, because, oh my gosh, I did not know what I needed until it happened. Okay. So it's really actually quite beautiful. And then I pulled a animal spirit card for you guys just to kind of see what the overall energy was for the month. And what you guys got was cow spirit. And it's very, very beautiful. It's this bull, and he's got this brown bull, and he's got all these beautiful flowers surrounding him. And so it's really this beautiful energy of, the balance between the divine masculine, divine feminine energy and the beauty that comes from that. And so again, with this 5 energy coming in collectively, it's all about that balance. And so where you may feel like you're so in your masculine, then it's time to touch base with your feminine, right? Or vice versa. And remember, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, regardless of our gender. And so the message that cow brings is that the miracles are endless. And so I really feel like the message cow is trying to convey for you all is, at the times that things feel a little trying or a little challenging this month, it's really, really important for you to be aware and continue to take notice of the things you're grateful for. Okay, those little miracles, the big miracles, whatever. Miracles don't always have to be these huge, grandiose things. Sometimes they can be small and minute, but they're still very, very important. And they continue to remind us of all the things we have to be grateful for, even when our circumstances look different than how we would hope they look in the moment. And so however you can find your miracles this month, find them. They're everywhere. It's not something where you have to wait for somebody else to create a miracle for you. You can create your own miracles. You can find your own miracles. And at the times when it feels the most challenging, that's the times where you need to seek out your miracles the most. And so this month, if it feels challenging for you, or those times that it feels challenging, don't forget to have gratitude and find those little special happy moments, those unique, magical little blips, right? That continue to give you hope and keep you moving. And so I don't feel like the energy of October is going to be overly difficult. I feel like the last week of October could have some challenges, but they're meant to move you forward at a faster pace than what you're currently moving, for those of you that this resonates with. The rest of October is just a matter of like tapping into your patience and connecting to self, honoring your own wisdom, honoring your own inner knowing, and really embracing that. And then also having that self-control enough to where you don't feel the need to react when somebody triggers you emotionally. And you have the capacity to respond in a way that is much more enlightened than what your lower self would have you do. Okay. And then again, if you can do that, you're sort of building up to that tower energy of that massive change, but you're well equipped to handle it. Okay. And then through the month, continue to find your miracles, because they're there. They're just waiting to be uncovered. So this, of course, was a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading to take a closer look at those energies coming in for you, I would love to do that for you. Reach out to me on my website and let's book some time together. Otherwise, I'll see you again soon, 11s. Take care. Bye-bye for now.